What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Okay, making... Wait a minute. Oh, this is just one guy, isn't it? Okay, so, making his debut on the channel tonight, we have Rope on Fire. Yes, indeed. How about that? Rope on Fire making his debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to do all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-boobity-bob, do me a favor. Before you do all those things, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Rope on Fire. Yes, you're seeing a similarity here. It's not your imagination. Rope on Fire wanted me to react to his Rope on Fire. So yeah, he wants me to react to his solo project here with a tune called The Re-Return of the Son of Nothing, number 33. Now, have I heard the song before? I very seriously doubt it. He just recorded this like a few weeks ago, so no, I very seriously doubt I've ever heard this before. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and for some miracle I go, oh my god, are you kidding me? I have heard this song before. I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Okay, so Rope on Fire gave me some information on this song we're about to check out. The song title is an inside joke for Pink Floyd dorks like me with regard to their many takes that went into the eventual masterpiece that was Echoes, okay? It's a lo-fi, progressive, psychedelic, experimental, original number in the vein of John Frusciante's solo work on the Empyrean and early Pink Floyd. Oh boy, we're gonna see how this goes. The piece consists of only 5 stems inputs, so five inputs here. Electric guitar, bass guitar, acoustic guitar, lap slide guitar, and keyboard. There were no MIDI, samples, found sounds, musique concrete, or post effects that were utilized. Only pedals during the live recording. So there's no post-production here when it comes to the instruments. It's all live and it's all done with pedals in the moment, on the fly live. In short, like Tom Morello often indicates, all you will hear is the instruments. Cool. This is the part that blows me away. It was recorded on a $20 handheld digi-recorder with direct line into amp, mixed on the free version of Reaper DAW, and the percussion was programmed on the free version of Hydrogen Drum Machine, beat by beat, rather than with sequences or patterns. So, like Pro Tools, he went in and he programmed every single percussion hit, every single kick drum, every single snare, every single cymbal, every single whatever percussion instrument you hear, he did himself individually beat for beat. So that right there, pretty impressive. I haven't even heard the song yet and I'm already impressed by that. He asked me to include links to both the song and to a playlist with some other songs of his, which I'm more than willing to do for him. It's not often. I think this is actually only the second time on the channel I've done a reaction to a song that was requested by the artist that was their own song. I know I did a couple of songs for Crooked Spine. So here we are now with Rope on Fire. Now, like I told Crooked Spine, I told Rope on Fire this, look, I'm glad you're a member of the fan base. I'm glad you like the channel, and I'm more than happy to, you know, give your song some exposure. But understand, I am gonna be 100% brutally honest, and I'm gonna give it to you exactly the way I promise I always will do. 100% honest, 100% brutal, and 100% real. And he understands, and as a matter of fact, he told me that's one of the reasons he wants me to do on the channel, because he trusts that I will be honest with him. So here we go, folks. We're in for a ride, I have a feeling. This was posted by Rope on Fire. Shocking. And the video so far has 39 views. Yeah, it's not gonna get you there. Sorry. Look, I'm sure the video's fine. I'm sure the song is fine. I'm just saying 39 views is not gonna get you there. Maybe that number will go up thanks to this. We'll see. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. The re-return of The Son of Nothing, number 33, by Rope on Fire, official music video. Wah, wah, wah.
Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it!
Man, you better not block me for this. It is an official music video, and it is coming off of this official page, so Rope on Fire, if you block me, we're gonna have words, son.
That's the fact, Jack. That's a fact, Jack.
Now, hopefully this won't get blocked, because we'll have to just wait and see. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Feels like a good as place as any to take a pause. Okay, as experimental Pink Floyd-ish style rock goes, ethereal rock goes, it's not bad. It's not bad. Couple of things I would recommend, and I'll save that for the end. I'm not going to go into it right now, but there are a few things I would definitely recommend. But overall, what I'm hearing is not, I mean, there's a couple of places where I was kind of like, wait a minute, what the heck is happening? But those things disappeared. Like they faded. So I think it was intentional. I think he intentionally did that with the purpose of being an attention getter, like, oh my God, what the heck was that? But then just as quickly as it came in, it went out again. Things like, it felt like, I don't know if that was a xylophone or maybe a wood viol, or like maybe a marimba or something like that. But it felt like this percussion instrument that was melodic based came in at a slightly faster tempo for about 2 measures, and then it just disappeared. And I was like, what in the world was that? Just little things like that. But I think that was done intentionally because it came in and then it disappeared. It was like, did I just hear that? Did that just really happen? And I've heard it happen a couple of times now, so I know I'm not imagining it. Let's keep going for right now. Before the drums came back in, before the percussion came back in, we had that part where the percussion was laying out. You heard the very keyboard driving forward with the keyboard on the low end. The guitars were over the top. I liked that. That was the nicest part of the whole song so far, in my opinion. Everything in there made sense. Everything in there made sense from a chordal aspect, from a layering and mixing aspect, from dynamically, everything there made sense. Everything there was sonically pleasing to the ear. I liked everything we heard for that past minute. That was really good. Really good. The drums kicked back in. Still sounds good. I think I like the pair without the drums, though, in all honesty. Yeah, so this is nice. Drums kick back in now. Makes sense. okay. There were some things I liked. There were some things I didn't like. There were some things I actually loved, and then there were some things I hated. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Rope on Fire with the re-return of the Son of Nothing, number 33. And this was a request from Rope on Fire. He wanted me to check out one of his own songs. So, yeah, then listen, I got no problem doing that, guys. I have absolutely no problem. For any bands out there that would like to submit their work for me to, evaluate, I got no issue with it. I just have two things. Number one, if you're gonna do it, if you want to submit your work, do it correctly. Okay, don't just send me an email and go, hey, check us out. I'm like, well, if you want me to do it as an official request, there's the proper way to do that. Don't just hand me something and go do this. You got to do it the correct way, folks. That's number one. Number two, I have no problem doing it at all, but be aware, I am gonna be brutally honest, and I'm gonna give you some constructive criticism, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think of it. And I may love it, I may hate it. I mean, you never know unless you submit it. So, anyway, I thought about it, and I got some constructive criticism here. I do, but before I do that, let's start off with the score, shall we? On a scale of 1 to 10, believe it or not, I'm gonna give that a 7.2. Yep, 7.2. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, let's start with the good stuff. Okay, let's start with the stuff that I liked and the stuff that I loved. I like the fact that he did this himself. He did this completely on his own. He did not rent rehearsal space. He did not rent a recording studio. He did not pay for an engineer. This is 100% homegrown. And I can absolutely respect that. I absolutely can. The fact that he did this on a $20 handheld digi-recorder and made it sound as good as it did sound, that's impressive. Good on him. I'm not familiar with Reaper DAW. I'm not familiar with that program. I'm not sure of what its capabilities are. I'm not sure of what it's able to do. I'm not sure what the difference would be between a free version and a full version. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I know nothing about the program, but it did a pretty bang up job, if you ask me. Sounded all right. The percussion on a free version of Hydrogen Drum Machine. Now, I have heard of that. I've never used it. I've never seen it in action. This is actually my first time hearing anything from Hydrogen, but I have heard of it. Sounded pretty good, if I'm being honest here. It sounded pretty legit. I mean, you could tell it was digital. You could tell all the drums sounded kind of digital. They sounded kind of processed, but I mean, for a free version, not bad. Not bad at all. The arrangement, I liked some of it. Most of it, actually, I liked. That middle section, that was hands down, that was my favorite section of the whole song, which is weird because it was also the most relaxed and the softest and the most quote-unquote ballad-like, I guess you could call it. But it felt good. It sounded good. It sounded very, how should I put this? It sounded like it all made sense. Like all the pieces of the puzzle finally fell into place. And it's like, there it is. There it is. Finally, we got it. Everything lined up. Everything made sense. Everything sounded good. The layering was exactly the way it should have been done. The EQing and the mixing was spot on. Everything in that middle section sounded good. Even when the drums came back in. Now, when the drums came back in, if I'm being honest here, I feel like the drums were a little distracting. I feel like the drum pattern may have been a little too busy for what was happening with it coming back in. I feel like it should have started off a little simpler, a little easier, and built up in technicality, built up in speed, built up in subdivision, built up in drive. I think that would have been a little more pleasing to the ear. But even when the drums did come in, it still sounded good. The mix still sounded good. The mix on this was actually really well done, I for the most part. There were a couple of spots where I feel like certain voices were a little louder than others. Now, that may have been done on purpose for effect, but in some spots, it was a little like at the beginning, like about a minute into it, you had all these guitar layers, and sometimes the acoustic would be on the top, and other times the slide guitar would be on the top, and then other times the electric guitar would be on the top. And the thing is, they would keep coming in and going out and coming in and going out, and you had this happening, and it is like, sometimes it was a little distracting, if I'm being honest here. There were some spots where I was like, what in the heck was that? What? Stuff like that. As far as the coming in with certain voices, I felt like they were slightly accelerated. I get it. It was for effect. And listen, mission accomplished. The effect worked. You got exactly what you were going for that little interjuncture, coming in, making a statement, and then going out, and rapidly too. We're talking about within 2 measures. I get it. I get it. I'm personally not a big fan of it, but I get it. I'm not saying change it. I'm just saying I'm not personally the biggest fan of it, but I understand it. And it was done well. It was done well. If I'm being honest here, my biggest gripe about this, and this, I'm not saying this to sound catty. I'm not saying this to try and put you down. I'm not saying this to, be rude, but this is just a very simple matter of fact, and you could ask any professional musician this, who knows the difference, and I guarantee you there's a lot of them out there that know the difference. There is a big difference between a guitar player playing bass and a bass player. A bass player has spent his life and has dedicated his life to understanding how bass works, how bass lines work, how bass runs work, how to play with counter melodics that will not overtake and overthrow, to some extent, what the guitars are doing. There's a big difference between that and a guitar player who picks up a bass and plays the bass like a guitar player. There's a big difference, and it's obvious you're a guitar player. It's very obvious you're not a bass player. The bass at times, and this is coming from a bass player, the bass at times overtook the song and was not a fan. Again, going back to like the first 2 minutes of the song, there were times where the bass came in with what was supposed to be a counter melodic line that became too busy, too active, too distracting, too attention getting, and unfortunately took away the attention from what was supposed to be the focus, which was either the slide guitar or the electric guitar. And I do feel like that needs to be cleaned up. Simplify the bass lines. Maybe even consider not having the bass do them. Just focus on the bass player or the bass line holding down the low end, and let the guitar, the electric guitar and the slide guitar, let them take care of each other. Let the bass handle the low end, let the keyboard fill out the sound, and let the 2 guitars battle it out. That might be a better way of approach. That's just my input. That's what I feel. That's what I think. Obviously, take what I say with a grain of salt, because I'm me. I'm just giving you my personal feedback. No, but overall, I think the song is actually really good. I hear a lot of potential here. And the thing is, I'm not even like a psychedelic experimental guy. That's not really my genre. It's not really my thing. But I hear a lot of good things happening in here already. And I see a lot of opportunities and potential for some even better things, possibly great things. So I think you're on the right track. I definitely do. I think the song does need some reworking in some spots. Like I said, in particular, the bass line. And this is coming from a bass player. So, I know, and that's weird, hearing a bass player say, you need to kind of pull it back a little bit. I know that's a little weird, but it's true. You know, I mean, even look, at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for the song, you know, and not worry about the bass player's ego. So, you know, as a bass player, I'm telling you, I wouldn't, if I was playing bass for you, I wouldn't be doing any of those things. I'd be, you know, a far more subtle approach with a song like this and with a feel like this. But again, that's just me. Take it for what it's worth. No, I think a 7.2 for this is a fair score. I think it's a really good song. It has a ton of potential. And I think with some reworks, maybe go into an actual studio, go into a Pro Tools studio, work with an engineer, clean this up, and you very well probably will have an 8 on your hands. I don't know if you'd be like an 8.8 or an 8.9, but I could see this getting up into the 8s. I absolutely could. So 7.2, I feel good with that score for where we're at right now, and that's where we're going to stay. So 7.2, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.